What is up, everyone? So this video is going to be a little different from my other videos that I make on the channel. So as you guys know, I make, horror videos on Minecraft, so, nothing crazy. A bunch of people do it, whatever, right? But I did want to interview the creator of In Your World mod, so that's the video that did really well here, the one that I think is currently like at 230,000 views. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the support on that and everyone that subscribed from that video. So after playing the mod and seeing the community's response to the mod, I myself, including others that watched the video, just had a bunch of questions on it. So I thought it'd be fun to get in contact with the creator of the mod here, Ibalia, and kind of just ask him some questions that I have and just people in the comments had. So I'll be going over those questions in this video. Before we start the interview, I just want to give a quick shout out to his Discord server. So if you want to join his server for the latest updates on his mods and just other things that he's working on, or you just want to hang out, I'll go ahead and leave that in the description below. Then I also started my own Discord server, so if you guys want to join the One Last Time server, I'll go ahead and leave that in the description below as well. So one last thing before we do get into the interview, his responses are in an AI voice. The reason being for that is that English isn't his primary language, so that's just kind of how we worked around that. Now with all my chatter out of the way, we can finally get started with the interview. When making this mod, what do you feel you learned from previous mods like the Silence and the Knocker?
I first want to say that I am not the creator of the Knocker, although perhaps I misinterpreted your question. I'm just his collaborator, who by the way is very cool, and I'm part of his team on his Discord. With the Silence, I realized that, being my first mod, it is not at all easy to find a middle ground for something so complex and ambitious. This is the case of the Silence. Despite being in beta development, I decided to stop its development, and the public may agree with me on this. In fact, it lacks a lot of content, and I think it was a mistake to launch it in beta phase knowing how people might receive something like that, being an independent developer. So what I'm going to do to the Silence will be a rework and remake of the animations and entities. This may take 1 year or more until the demo or official version is ready. In fact, I already have the next entity ready that was going to come out in beta 3, but it has many mechanics that can give players problems. It has a lot of content added so far, but I preferred to wait and not release anything until the mod is ready, in optimal conditions to be playable. I know that people expect a lot from me, and even more so now with this new mod. So both will be done in time. In fact, this is much simpler than the Silence.
Are there any meanings to current structures, and are any directly connected?
The structures I have added are not connected to each other. Each one is a separate one. There is only one special structure that has its meaning and is identifiable by having the entity inside. The entity is directly related to the Silence universe. In fact, I have a mod in the experimental phase called Lobotomy, which perhaps few people know about. It is part of a series that I will do whenever I have time, but basically it will have a story. The most loyal followers will already know what or who it is. XD. You can see it on my YouTube channel. Small experimental mods related to the plot of that mini-series. I don't highly recommend playing them because this only is experimental, nothing serious, so it come with quite a few bugs and errors.
The mod is named after a cartoon show, Ahitis. Is there any connections from the show that are in the mod?
That was going to be the original name of the mod, Hijitis. And yes, there is a connection because I used the cartoon to combine it within my universe and give it a more mysterious touch.
Is there any current lore behind the mods aside from being in the same universe as the Silence?
Watch the videos on my YouTube channel, and investigate the tapes inside the Silence mod, and you will find something.
Is the mod aiming for a glitched, unstable world feel, or more of someone's already been here atmosphere?
Yes, the goal of the mod is to focus on the world of Minecraft ARG, and I have another mod in development regarding that, which will surely blow many people's minds. We all know that Minecraft ARG is not about screamers, dwellers, or things chasing you, but the unknown without forcing anything. You will find out. You will discover how deceptive the mind is, and I will prove it with a simple mod, which as I said, is in development at the same time as this one.
Someone asked, are there going to be more interactions with the creature, like if you'll see him finishing a structure, or what are his true motives?
That was one of the first ideas I had at the beginning, but I think for the player it would become a common thing to see, like the Herobrine mod, watching you from a distance, that once you get used to it it's not so scary anymore. My idea is to be unpredictable with actions. But the entity must be as little visible as possible to the player. You may know what its shape is like, but you won't know what it will do next. In fact, this mod was developed shortly after beta 2 of the Silence months ago, but I completely changed the idea and I wanted to change everything and be as least predictable and visible as possible to the player. If you want, I will send you to capture the original model and the old concept to show it to you.
Someone asked, what made you go from classic dweller ideas to something that is so different from the mods that exist now?
When I started in the world of mods, I was very interested in dweller mechanics. How they could scare people so much just by seeing them, crouching, climbing things in order to catch the player, giving him a feeling of anxiety and desperation never seen before. Something similar happened with the Man from the Fog. Its mechanics were similar, but it still conveyed that feeling of terror. It was also something original. Then the decline of horror mods began. Copies and copies of the same dweller artificial intelligence, the same with the Man from the Fog. At first, a lot of people loved it, but after a few months, people got completely fed up with the same cliched and unoriginal content. And currently copies of other famous horror mods continue to be made in order to scratch a little fame, when they don't deserve it. Then, the idea occurred to me to not do something cliché but something more innovative, so I started watching Markiplier videos, VHS tapes of analog horror from YouTube, and I said to myself, why don't I try it if there is nothing original? I remember that the first time I presented the mod everyone thought it was just another dweller, hahaha. Then, I saw that many horror copies and mods continued to come out with the same pattern. They scare you for a while, chase you and kill you. That's the game. So, since no one has made mods that are related to Minecraft ARG, I decided to do it. One of my favorite mods, which never lost its essence, is Herobrine's, which perfectly captures this.
Does going to the structures activate any interactions from the entity like the one in the cobblestone house?
It is random and unpredictable. I'm working on an Easter egg that will interact with the player. It will be fun. And I'm creating a feature that will surely put the player on full alert, and I'm not talking about the entity or anything like that, but the world itself.
You've stated that this is in the same universe as a Silence. What is the connection between the two mods?
Only the most loyal followers of my channel know that, haha, the videos that I publish give clues about that, even the mod itself.
Lastly, when can we expect future updates and a final release?
Updates to the demo version will be made only to correct bugs or errors, or minor things that you want to add. The official version will already have a definitive maintenance, but I don't have an exact release date. It is a relatively simple mod in its theme and setting. By the way, the entity will have two different aspects, and this is because the original appearance was corrupted. And this gave a weird aspect to the entity. I liked that and I took advantage of it. It is literally a corrupt entity XD. The bad thing about this is that, I am creating the non-corrupted aspect from scratch. You'll see it, you'll love it. By the way, the mod will remain on Patreon. Another user already copied it. And as I said in one of my last videos, I don't like this. So if people continue down this path, future versions of the mod will only be for paying members. The official version will of course be available to the public. The same will happen with the other mod I'm developing. I hope the community starts creating more original things. A mod that not many talk about is Hide and Seek. Its mechanics are fun, simple, and it is one of the original things we have. Why do many like copies of Dwellers or Man from the Fog instead of this? XD, thank you for the interview and congratulations for your plus 200k views in your video. Message for the people: support mods and content creators who really do original things. They are the ones who deserve the most support for their work.